Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Renegade Recap. Again, we're going to be talking about the Pirates here today. Rough week for Pirates here. We went 0-6, fell to 24-34. Now, this is a little worse than I was expecting them to do. I was expecting at least a win out of Detroit. I was hoping for maybe two. Maybe we could have got a couple out of there. Games were a little bit disappointing, but then we just went to Atlanta and ran into a really, really hot Atlanta Braves team, and it showed. Now, there were a couple of bright spots this week. Marcano, he's hitting 311. He should be the everyday second baseman right there. Call up, and once Cruz makes his call up, once we kind of see the end of his Super 2 stuff, I mean, if you have Hayes at third, Cruz at short, Marcano at second, Chavis at first, I'd like to watch that infield, but we'll see. Marcano, pleasant surprise. A lot of people were dogging that trade last year, but he's proving himself. He's making good plays. He's hitting 311. Reynolds is hitting up or heating up. Reynolds is doing really well. And if you remember back, in the 60-game season in 2020, he did not do as well as people were expecting him to. And he even came out and said that season shouldn't be judged on 60 games. It should be 162. Well, we're right about at that close to the 60-game mark, and he's starting to heat up. So it just goes to show that the 60-game season was so minuscule and so hard to judge. But it's nice to see Reynolds heating up again. He's kind of been carrying the offense a little bit. Couldn't quite get over the hump in any of the games this week, but it's still nice to see some individual performances. Last week, I myself got a little excited because it was some of the young guys that's in the future, but we all knew what this team was. This team is young. This team is inexperienced, and they're going to lose a lot of games this year. This season's more about individual development. So seeing good stuff like that, it's fun to see. Other news, Bednar's still looking really good. He's looking like the closer of the future here. And I know you don't need a closer on a bad team, but he's a cult hero, comes out to Renegade from Pittsburgh. You can't ask for anything more on the Pirates. And he hates the Cubs. It's great. Thompson's looking really good. Zach Thompson is pitching really well. Now, this brings up a question of not yesterday, because you're seeing this on Monday, Saturday's game against the Braves when we lost 10-4. We were in that game. We were up 4-2. Zach Thompson had settled in, given up one hit over the second through fifth inning, and was pulled out with a low pitch count. It's something we've seen a lot of this year, managing pitch counts and over managing from Derek Shelton. It's kind of leaving a lot of people wondering is Derek Shelton the manager for this team? I personally would have liked to see that go a little longer. I'd like to see the pitchers at least attempt to get through. Why pull them before? I get it. Because we saw Clint Hurdle for years would leave people in too long, and that was frustrating. We got a polar opposite here because Shelton won't even let people attempt to do this stuff. There's got to be a fine line in the middle. You got to let Thompson go out for the sixth there. You got to let him at least make the attempt. You got to keep us in this game longer. We saw Underwood came in. Underwood, great in a 1-inning role, not great in a 2-inning role. We saw that a lot last year. His second inning was just bad. Stratton looked bad, but Stratton is confusing to me this year. It is what it is. It was a bad outing for Stratton. That game was just all around bad. But other than that, we were in a couple of those Detroit games, just couldn't get it done there at the end and ran to a really hot Braves team. Moves this week, way quieter week on the transaction side of things. Dylan Peters went on the 15-day DL. And we recalled Aaron Fletcher. Now, there might be a couple more next week as we start to see some guys come back from injury with a couple of these lists. And on Tuesday, we have a doubleheader against St. Louis. So it's either going to be an opener or it's going to be calling up one of those arms from Indianapolis, which I'd like to see. There's a couple of guys down there who could deserve a spot start because you get that extra guy for the second game of the doubleheader. So week ahead, like I said, 4-game series in St. Louis, 4 games in 3 days. That's a tough series. We're 1-5 against them this year. Let's be honest. We're not great against the Cardinals. We're not great against the Brewers. Got smacked in the face by the Cubs and somehow are not doing well against the Reds. You got to beat the teams in your division if you're going to go anywhere. It's incredibly frustrating that we don't have traction against these guys. If anything, for the rest of this season, if it was up to me, I'd say let's get some wins against the Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs, and Reds. Let's get some NL Central wins, focus on the division. Because if you can't beat your division, I'm tired of this wild card thing. When this rebuild comes together, which we're seeing on the pace, we're seeing these young guys. Let's win the division. We're there. We're so close. Yes, we're off this year, but we're so close. If we would just win some of these games against these teams, that's all I ask for. Let's be in this next year. But again, another chance to redeem ourselves against St. Louis here. 4 games. We get to see Keller on Monday, Brubaker on Tuesday, second game on Tuesday. Like I said, it's the opener. So who really knows who we're going to see there. Wednesday, we get Contreras, which that'll be a nice little game. I'm interested to see him pitch again. He's been doing, he came back to earth a little bit, but what you expect? Younger guy. We all expected it. He got the loss on Friday with Atlanta. Pitched well, just not enough to get us the win. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't great. But we expected this. We expect him to come back down to earth a little bit. Still excited to see him. Still really good young arm. He's the future ace of this team, and so it's fun to watch. And then for the end of the week, we get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series back home against San Francisco. Now we get to see Thompson, Quintana, and then Keller. So it'd be nice to see that. San Francisco is currently, we have not played them yet this year, so it'd be nice to see. I remember last year, San Francisco was a lot better than what they're doing now, but then again, the NL West is a stacked division. They're in third, and that's a stacked division right now. So it'd be interesting to see. Honestly, of these 7 games, I'd be shocked if we won 3. We're going to go 2-5 this week. We're going to maybe squeak 1 out in St. Louis. And I could see us, winning a series against San Francisco. I could see us also going 1-2 against San Francisco. We might squeak 1 out in St. Louis, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got swept in St. Louis too, which is a little bit frustrating, seeing as getting smacked 18-4 was kind of the start of our good run last time by St. Louis back on the 22nd of May. So a spark, we'll see. We just got to shake it off. Shake it off. Bad week. Move on, focus on the good. Got a lot of games left in this season, so let's focus on some individual development. The thing for me that is we're running into an issue here, and this is the last thing I'm kind of going to talk about today. We got 4 outfielders. We don't really need 4 outfielders right now because, Sawinski in left, you got Reynolds in center, and then Cal Mitchell is batting. Swaggerty hit a wall, which is fine. You can't send him back down necessarily if there's an open spot, but we have 4 outfielders. He's not performing. So you got to either give him playing time or send him back down. He can't just be sitting here not hitting. It's a little bit frustrating, but we'll see. He's only been up a week. That's a little bit early on that. But again, we got Marisnik, we got Craig Allen, we got Gamble coming back eventually. Who knows about Craig Allen or Marisnik? But hopefully we'll see Gamble again here soon. So that would bring another infielder into the question, and then who knows? But Swaggerty can't sit on the bench and start to hit. You got to have consistent playing time. So if you're not going to play him, send him back down to Indianapolis. It's okay. But excited to see this week coming up for the Pirates here. Again, 2-5, 3-4, 3-4 at max is what I'm expecting. Would I like to see him to go out and get some wins? Yes. But for now, let's just get through this week. The next week after that, games get a little bit harder. But games coming up this week, 4 in St. Louis, 3 at home versus San Francisco. I'm Caleb Flatt. Thanks for watching the Renegade recap this week. Catch you again next Monday we'll recap the games this week, and hopefully we have a little bit more exciting, hopefully a week. Hopefully we can get some wins from the Pirates here. So anyway, catch y'all later.